Title: The Sketch in the Sunlight. Talia Hart ruled Ridgewood High the way a queen ruled a kingdom, with perfect hair, flawless fashion, and a reputation so sharp it could cut glass. People didn't just admire her, they feared her, and she liked it that way. At least, she thought she did. That afternoon, the sun spilled across the school courtyard, lighting up the students scattered around in their Gen Z chaos. Vintage hoodies, metallic sneakers, wired headphones making a comeback. Talia walked through the noise like she was gliding down a runway. Every turn of her head, every click of her shoes, drew eyes. But none of that mattered when she saw him. Jaden Cole, the new boy, sitting under a tree with a sketchbook resting on his knee. He wasn't trying to impress anyone. He wasn't staring at his phone or adjusting his outfit. He was just drawing, calm, focused, like the whole world was quiet behind his eyes. Talia stopped without meaning to. That didn't happen to her. Ever. She approached him, suddenly aware of her heartbeat. He didn't look up until she was right beside him. "You're an artist?" she asked, trying to sound unimpressed, even though her voice softened more than she intended. "Just trying to capture things how I see them," Jaden said. Talia sat down. She didn't know why. She didn't even think about how it might look, or what her followers would say later. She just sat. "What do you see when you look at me?" she asked. Jaden finally met her eyes. His gaze wasn't scared, wasn't intimidated. It was curious, warm, real. "Someone who pretends she doesn't care," he said quietly, "but actually cares a lot." Talia froze. No one had ever spoken to her like that. No one had ever seen her like that. The next morning, Ridgewood High buzzed with its usual chaos. TikTok dances in corners, groups taking mirror selfies by the lockers, the smell of hair gel, lip gloss, and drama. Talia arrived dressed a little differently, less armor, more softness. She couldn't explain why, but something inside her felt lighter. As she walked, a freshman girl tripped and dropped a mountain of textbooks. Papers flew everywhere. Everyone around her laughed. Talia didn't. She stepped forward, kneeling down to help gather the books. The freshman stared at her like she was an alien. Thank you?" the girl whispered. Talia handed the stack back and gave a small, genuine smile. "Don't mention it." Silence rippled through the hallway. People blinked, stared. A group of sophomores actually gasped. Her friends watched her with open mouths. "Talia, babe, what was that?" one of them asked, as if she'd witnessed a crime. But Talia didn't answer. She didn't need to. Jaden's words from yesterday still echoed in her chest. Someone who pretends she doesn't care, but cares a lot. For the first time, Talia wondered who she could be if she stopped pretending. And for the first time, she wanted to find out. Chapter: The Beginning of the Break. Talia and Jaden didn't just fall in love in high school. They grew in love. By graduation, everyone knew them as the couple who beat the odds. The queen bee with a heart she finally allowed to soften, and the quiet artist who saw her before anyone else tried to. They chose the same university. Not because they were afraid of being apart, but because their dreams pointed in the same direction. Talia studied fashion communication. Her style had always been a language. Jaden studied fine arts. He sketched everything she wore. On campus, they were inseparable, walking hand in hand to classes, studying together in the library, cooking noodles at midnight in their shared apartment. It felt like the world they'd built in high school had expanded, grown roots, gotten stronger. People whispered about them. "Those two? They've been together since high school." She looks at him like he's the only person in the room. He draws her like she's his inspiration. And he was. She was. Until the shift. It started small. Jaden began staying late in the studio more often. Talia didn't think anything of it. Art students lost track of time. But then he stopped showing her his sketches, stopped talking about his day in detail, stopped asking her to sit with him while he worked. She worried, quietly. She didn't want to be the controlling girlfriend. She trusted him, until the day she didn't. Talia walked into the Fine Arts building one evening, her tote bag full of snacks she knew he liked. The hallway smelled like clay and acrylic paint, and she could hear voices coming from Jaden's studio room. His voice, and another girl's. It wasn't the sound that hurt, it was the tone. Soft, playful, the way he used to talk to her. Talia stopped in the doorway. Inside, Jaden stood beside a girl she had never seen. A girl with soft curls, paint on her jeans, and the kind of effortless beauty that whispered instead of screamed. She was laughing at something Jaden said. He was smiling, a smile Talia hadn't seen in weeks. On the easel behind them was a half-finished painting of the girl, not Talia. Her heart cracked, quietly, silently, in the middle of the studio hallway. Jaden finally noticed her. "Oh, Talia, hey, I didn't expect you." But she didn't feel like his girlfriend in that moment. She felt like a stranger interrupting something she wasn't meant to see. That night, back in their apartment, she sat on the edge of their bed, trying to breathe through the ache. He sat across from her, hands in his hair, torn. "Talia, she's just a friend," he said softly. But Talia had always known how to read people, and for the first time, she saw him the way everyone else once saw her. Confused, hurting someone without meaning to. "Do you like her?" she whispered. Jaden didn't speak. Silence can be an answer too. Their love story wasn't over, but for the first time since high school, it wasn't whole either. A queen with a cracking crown, an artist with a wandering heart, a love strong enough to survive high school drama, but now tested by adult realities. And neither of them knew if love alone would be enough.